let's catch up on what's happening this season, because honestly, I don't know what the story of this season is. And this video is by Thunder DM. So, if you want to see it, check it out yourself too.
Fortnite Chapter 6 Season 1 is coming to an end, and now a portal emitting golden energy will soon be leading us to a lawless Season 2. And I'm sure many who clicked on this video are completely lost with the story this season.
That's me.
That's why I'm here.
Alright.
So in this video, I'll be filling you in on everything from our arrival on this new island, introducing you to our new main cast of characters, and filling you all in on the entire story of Chapter 6 Season 1. So you'll all be ready for Midas to once again return in Season 2.
Yes.
So sit back, relax, maybe even grab some popcorn, as we've got quite a bit to go over here. So this season's story began at the end.
Grab some popcorn, you say? I have half a mind to go get popcorn right now just because you said it.
So this season's story began at the end of Fortnite Remix's live event, where we all woke up from the lucid dream that was the actual Fortnite Remix season. And I know there is debate on if this season was or wasn't a dream, but let me explain my rationale here as to why I believe it was a dream. I know
some people are saying the rap season was a dream. Okay.
Many like to point to Meowdis having secret dialogue with Neandra this season as proof he is real and that Remix actually happened. And this is partially correct. Meowdis is real, as he is the result of a snapshot of Midas and a snapshot of Meowscles entering a rift at the exact same time, causing them to fuse. However, similar to how actual dreams work, we're just dreaming of a character that really exists. Or should I say, Hope was dreaming, as I fully believe Fortnite Remix was Hope's dream we somehow found ourselves stuck in. I mean, think about it. Hope met the Midas crew likely during the Rise of Midas event in Chapter 5 Season 2, when she had to remove her bugs from the yacht since it was no longer in the Society's possession.
Alright, see, these are the moments where I'm like, I have no idea what's going on in the story, because I never thought it was a dream. I never thought it was a dream. It was a dream. The rap season was a dream. Hope was just dreaming of Ice Spice, Snoop Dogg, and Eminem. Wow, okay. Oh, okay. I mean, it was definitely different than every other season. What led into the rap season? We went through like a rift from Snoop. How would a dream? A dream? What the heck? I played it so much. What the heck? How did I never hear that?
To remove her bugs from the yacht since it was no longer in the Society's possession. On top of that, who else would know about these voicemails Hope left to her sister Valeria over the course of Chapter 5? Cause last I checked, voicemails aren't physical recordings you find on the ground. But finally, if you ever paid attention to all of Hope's NPC locations, she's always been around a lot of speakers, proving she's a big fan of music. This would explain why we had real-world music artists on the Chapter 2 island. Hope likely talked to Midas or someone in his crew and heard stories of the Chapter 2 island, and her imagination warped her dream into this remixed version we experienced before waking up and reuniting with Hope and Jones. We all then traveled through the rift onto the Chapter 6 island, but we were not alone. Not far behind us, a mysterious shard followed us through the rift and crashed onto this new island, which we now know as the island of Oninoshima. But what's so special about—
I actually never even knew the island name. Oninoshima, I never even knew the island had a name. Oh my gosh. What? Okay, I need to do better. I'm gonna know so much about Lawless. Like, oh my gosh. I feel like they don't give you lots of storyline in the game, or I just miss it all besides the quest. I mean, it's one of those things, Jazz, where I agree with you. I feel like they don't give you a lot of story, but also I feel like that can't be true, because then how do guys like this figure everything out? You know? But I also like feel like how do they figure it out? I be playing the game, I be trying to put together the story, I've been looking left and right, and then 2 minutes in I feel lost. Where did he get that information? He said it so matter-of-factly too, like we all knew the name. He said it like, as you know, We are on the island of Oninoshima. As who knows? I feel like I gotta quiz everybody now. Hey, what's the name of the Fortnite island?
This new island, which we now know as the island of Oninoshima. But what's so special?
Yes, because we now know it's the island of Oninoshima. Of course, this is what we all know, guys. We all know this.
About this shard or the island? Well, to start with the island, Oninoshima is the home to some familiar groups in the Fortnite storyline, the Fox Clan and the River Guard, and has been for...
Have you guys heard of the Fox Clan? Oh my goodness, I'm gonna need to do some Fortnite homework. Blown away by the simplest stuff. Blown away by the simplest stuff.
Clan and the River Guard, and has been for generations. But this island's history also plays an important role as to what exactly is going on with this season's storyline. So we need to have an understanding of its history, and fortunately for us, the residents of this island had no issue telling us about their home. Many years ago, Oninoshima was once a land full of magical creatures and powers used by those who lived on the island. The Fox Clan, for example, got their rift abilities by having the island's magic fused into their masks. However, they were not the ones who created these powerful masks, but instead they commissioned a powerful artisan who knew the secret method of how to make them. But even though magic was accepted around the island at this time, there were still groups who were more reluctant towards the use of such powers and saw their potential dangers, which is where the River Guard comes into play. And it seemed their fears would become justified as over time, the mask maker's ambitions became more dangerous, and they forged a powerful mask with ruinous power, which caused the River Guard to start what is now known on the island as the Shattering War. While we don't know the exact details of this conflict, what we do know is that this mask had almost destroyed Oninoshima, and that the Oni had invaded the island at this time. But by the...
That's why the masks are called the Oni masks. I'm picking up what they're putting down. Alright, I feel so learned.
End of this war, not only the Oni, but all magic was banished from Oninoshima, and the Fox Clan were blamed for everything, as they were the ones who used these masks to begin with. Things weren't patched up between the Fox Clan and the other groups until Mega City was rifted into Reality Zero during Chapter 4 Season 2, where the Loopers helped the groups finally find peace. So funny enough, Mega's storyline now isn't as weird and out of place as it used to be. Kinda cool how they finally fixed that. But that brings us to what's happened on Oninoshima this season, where that mysterious shard crashed into the island, making the once banished magic return alongside an army of Oni who are once again invading the island. But what exactly is this shard? Well, thanks to its file name being leaked, we know it's actually a fragment of the 0 point after it was shattered during the Big Bang event, which would also explain why Oninoshima also now has a loop. See the loop, which we...
Alright, see, and this is where I'm gonna 100% continue to be lost, because I don't know what the Big Bang event was. I don't know what the shard is. I don't know what the 0 point is. So they're just saying things that it's like, I don't know. I'm definitely gonna have to go back in time and watch the whole story of Fortnite, because I'm like, all right, you're saying things, and I'm like, huh? I got homework to do.
Also called the Battle Royale mode, was always a defense mechanism the 0 point created to protect itself, that the Imagined Order eventually took advantage of and used to control the island.
What are we talking about right now? 0 point, shard, Imagined Order? Oh my god, I'm so confused. What? The Imagined Order? I thought this video was gonna help me. It's just making me realize I don't know anything.
I theorize that this shard of the 0 point is still acting in a similar way. It created a loop for Oninoshima, which is why we now have a Battle Royale season outside of Reality Zero. Though, since it's only a fragment of the 0 point, that would explain why this loop has different rules from the original, such as the loopers now sometimes being able to speak, which we saw happen several times throughout the quest lines this season, which I'll get into talking about all the different types of storyline quests in a bit, but first I want to fully introduce the main cast of this season. So
Loopers? The loopers can now speak?
Season. So this season mainly follows three siblings, Kendo, Jade, and Daigo, who are all descendants of the mask maker who started the Shattering War.
Okay.
This trio truly does care for one another, however, their conflicting goals and personalities sometimes keep them at odds. Daigo is the oldest brother who has inherited the family's mask store, also known as the Thousand Face Shop, where their family now makes ceremonial masks. However, Daigo is a very intelligent yet arrogant young man who finds simply making these festival masks beneath him. So when magic returned to the island, Daigo, who had always been intrigued by the work his ancestor once did, began to infuse masks with dark magic. On top of all of this, Daigo is still very close to his sister Jade, who is an adventurer dedicating her life to uncovering all the secrets of Oninoshima.
And I gotta say, Jade, best skin on the battle pass. She is the cutest skin. I like her design, my favorite one.
When the magic returned, Jade found out that she had a special connection with these creatures known as sprites. However, this connection to magic creatures also extended to the Oni, who began to stalk her, but more on that later. Jade is also—
What is that from? What are these clips from? This looks badass. What is this from? What is this? This looks like a whole side animation tease. I've never seen this. I'm like, what is this? Where did this anime come from?
This connection to magic creatures also extended to the Oni, who began to stalk her, but more on that later. Jade is also pretty popular around the island, being friends with the likes of Nyanja and Halsey from the High Stakes Club, who are also residents of Oninoshima. And finally, there's the youngest brother, Kendo, but while he is the youngest, he is the most level-headed. He's always admired the warriors of the past and hopes that one day he could become a warrior himself and defend his island just as they once did. Problem is, he's never had a proper teacher, though he hopes to one day find one, but before he could do that, the army of demonic creatures known as the Oni invaded the island, led by their leader, Shogun X, and it would seem as if they are here to drain the island of its spiritual energy. Kendo has now taken this as his opportunity to find his place in the world and become whoever he is destined to be, which sounds familiar to a character we spent quite a lot of time with last chapter, Hope. If you remember at the start of the video, I said that Hope and Jones had traveled to this island as they followed a power that, according to Hope, feels similar to Pandora's box. This is Hope's first time reality hopping, but thankfully she's got Jones here who is experienced with this sort of thing. But on top of that, Hope is still trying to figure out who she wants to become now that she's left both the underground and the society behind. And now she's focusing on finding that mysterious artifact that led them here. But during her investigation on how—
It is so funny seeing the different emotes that people use when they're telling a story.
How this world's magic works, she met both Kendo and Jade, who are also trying to figure out how magic mysteriously returned to the island. But Hope especially connects with Kendo, seeing as their personalities are so similar. And the two agree that they can help each other both protect this island and track down this mysterious artifact that brought back all the magic of the past in the first place. But just as things seemed as if they were falling into place, disaster occurred in Kendo's life. Jade has gone missing, and Kendo believes that his brother Daigo is responsible for this. Plus, Jade could clearly be seen inside the spirit realm, which caused some confusion considering she's not a demon. So naturally that Daigo has a whole workshop hidden underneath the mask shop, where he has not only been repairing some of the masks from the Shattering War, but he's also creating new ones using the sprites he's captured from out in the wild. Suspicions were correct, and that Daigo was responsible for Jade now being in the spirit realm. However, looks may be deceiving. While sure, Daigo is a shady character, he himself speaks with the Looper and explains that he would never actually hurt Jade. In fact, Jade had actually been cursed by the Oni that were stalking her, and he created this mask as a means to try and protect her from this curse. However, something went wrong, and Jade was now trapped in the spirit realm. But Daigo also plans to find a way to free his sister, and explains that the masks should keep her safe in that realm until he can figure out what to do. But after this, the story for this season took a bit of a hiatus and made us go through a lot of random side stories that didn't add too much to the plot, but did still build the world a bit. Like, sure, the Winterfest quest did tell us that the loopers could speak on the island, but like, most of it was just a wild goose chase because Sergeant Winter didn't want to be alone on the naughty list. Then there was the story of Turtle find his lost lover. We also helped Doberman fight off the Oni, and then Godzilla randomly showed up, destroyed the bridge and left, and his best friend Hatsune Miku was also there, cause why not, right? I mean, hey.
I like the way he explained that. That's how I feel about the confusion of it, because it's like he's saying all this and he's like, and then we had Godzilla, then his best friend Hatsune Miku was there.
Why not, right? I mean, hey, at least he was fun to play as. But finally, we then picked up the main story again with Kendo and Hope now realizing the comet and the reemergence of magic are connected. Like, duh, how'd it take you both this long? Anyways, they send some loopers to investigate and they find these splinters from the fragments that are apparently still very powerful in their own right and may be the key to saving Jade. The heroes then use the splinters and forge them into blades. However, they are unsure of how to use them, so Kendo suggests they get the help of an unlikely ally, the Night Rose. But who is she? The Night Rose is one of the higher-ups in the Oni army. However, this isn't by choice. She's a fearsome warrior in her own right, but she's being controlled by a more powerful Oni known as the Puppeteer. And she would do absolutely anything to break free of this curse and strike down this demon that's brought her so much pain. And somehow Kendo has picked up on this and is willing to gamble that she'd help them if they could free her. So Kendo and Hope defeat the Night Rose in her Oni form, which temporarily lifts the curse, and she does agree to help them free Jade, since these same blades could also be used to free herself. The Night Rose then tells the heroes that she knows a guy who could help them out, but they would just have to trust her. Well, it turns out this person who could free Jade using these blades is actually Daigo, and he's already got his whole plan worked out, and now Hope and Kendo just have to trust that he knows what he's doing. And don't worry, we'll get to that shortly, but for now, the story of this season hit a bit of a roadblock around this time. So it turns out that Shogun X was able to become such a powerful Oni by collecting the magic from the comet that brought magic back to this island. And Hope then reveals that, yes, this comet was a piece of the 0 Point. Yep, the big reveal at the end of the story quest was that the 0 Point is back, and this would have been awesome had it not been leaked before the season even began. Not gonna lie, Epic really needs to stop these storyline leaks from happening. It's now ruined the surprises of both who the Wanderer was and the 0 Point's return. But that's a rant for another video.
How? Don't look at the leaks. What are you talking about? I never saw the leaks. Don't look at the leaks then. Don't look at the leaks. You don't want to see the leaks, don't look at the leaks. Because I don't know what you mean. The Wanderer wasn't ruined for me.
For now, let's jump to the finale of this season and see how Daigo's rescue operation works out, which has surprisingly now been fully backed by Hope and Kendo, who set up some machines to monitor his progress.
Money and compensation. All these freaking commercials about car accident, money and compensation to me are always so sus.
By Hope and Kendo, who set up some machines to monitor his progress. Then finally, the time came where Daigo began his attempt to rescue his sister, using the powers of all the masks he created for himself. At first, things were going smoothly and Jade emerged from the portal, but just before Daigo could reach her, she was sucked back inside. And then in her place, Shogun X emerged from the portal and attacked Daigo. But just as he went for the finishing blow, Daigo's mask was able to repel him, and their two powers combined, turning them both into figures that towered over the entire island. Shogun X began to drain the island and all of the loopers of their energy in order to power himself.
All the loopers? Are we the loopers? He's calling us loopers. We're the loopers. Die and come back, because we're playing in a loop. We're the loopers.
up before engaging in one final battle against Daigo. The two clashed for several minutes, and what I have to admit was a pretty awesome battle, but eventually Shogun X overwhelmed Daigo and slashed through his torso. But just when it looked as if Daigo was done,
That was actually the coolest part. That one animation.
awesome battle, but eventually Shogun X overwhelmed Daigo and slashed
That I was like, yo, that's fire.
through his torso. But just when it looked as if Daigo was done for, he was able to gather enough of his remaining strength to catch Shogun X off guard and finish him off for good. But then, the portal to the spirit realm he originally opened became overwhelmed by the returning energy from Shogun X. Then it exploded, and all that was left on the battlefield was the portal, now emitting a mysterious golden energy, and Daigo's sister Jade now finally free from the spirit realm. So in the end, it would seem that we were all misled with Daigo. Even though he did some questionable things, it was all in the name of protecting his home and, more importantly, his family. But now Daigo has disappeared without a trace. However, it would seem as if he survived this encounter as indicated from this new dialogue with Jade. And it would seem this may only be the beginning of the siblings' journey, as now this portal is emitting gold energy, which according to Jade will bring greed and chaos to the island. Which now brings us to what will happen next in Chapter 6, Season 2. But for now, I just wanted to thank you all for
It's gonna bring greed to the island, so then suddenly they're just gonna, then it's gonna be the lawless season with the gold, and they're bringing greed, and it's gonna have something to do with this season. The Jade and Daigo are still gonna be a part of the storyline for Chapter 6, Season 2? With the pickle? Is the pickle from the pickle factory and he just got blown up with magic and became a gigantic pickle? And then, how the heck do we go from one thing to the other? How do we go from one thing to the other? Okay. W video, dude. W video, W video. I guess I know more than I did before, but I am confused on all of this lore. I just don't know. I just feel so unsure. Sub-Zero is, well, you know what, Sub-Zero kind of makes more sense going from this season to that season. The pickle kind of arguably could make sense. Midas is random, but not that random because I know he's technically already part of the storyline stuff for Fortnite. I'm trying to I'm putting my mind together. Interesting. The only thing I missed is that people are theorizing that it was a dream. That's interesting. I never heard that. But I think I have most of the lore. So then all I need to do is, so another day we shall watch together the full story of Fortnite in every single, watching this video, trying to figure out what the hell a looper was. And all that, because I was like, what the hell is a looper? And then now I figured out, or I got together, we are a looper. Looper is us.